Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Monday. It's Daryl here. It is bright and early 4 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. You guys could probably read me by now. I struggle to say happy Monday or happy Tuesday or whatever sometimes when I have something heavy to talk about. The thing that keeps going through my mind right now, the phrase is the fuse has been lit. And this week is going to play out. I think we've got to that point. I think the future can be changed. Any future can be changed up to a point, and at that point, at a certain point, a series of events happen that make a certain future almost inevitable. And I think we've crossed over that point. When I made yesterday's video, talking about Trump going to Kenosha, part of me really didn't think that he would be stupid enough to do this, that he would be that insane. I know what I'm saying doesn't even make sense as the words come out of my mouth. As I made that video, I was like, if he wants to be reelected, what he's going to Kenosha is going to set this country on fire. And it's looking like I got that story right. He is going to Kenosha. Not only that, over the whole weekend, I think he tweeted like 100 times. He tweeted 89 times within a 2 or 3 hour period yesterday, Sunday, between 5 and 8, I believe. And these are all just inflammatory rhetoric about law and order, thanking his supporters for being patriots. Okay, so what's that going to do? You know, what I'm thinking right now is, no matter, like I said, I think we've crossed a certain point where a future becomes inevitable. And up until that point, we can change the future. And like I said, I think we've crossed over it. Because now, there's going to be Trump supporters from around the country that are already headed to Kenosha, Wisconsin today to be there tomorrow. Not everybody has a jet. Not everybody has reliable transportation. There's going to be people hitchhiking. There's going to be people on trains, buses, and they're headed there now. And what's going to happen? Not only in Kenosha, but in the surrounding towns, in all of Wisconsin, in all of the Midwest tomorrow. So Trump's tweets. It's like Trump and his supporters are just itching for a battle. They're doing the absolutely worst thing. We have the Black Lives Matter movement. People that fear for their lives, people that are filled with anxiety and angst over just the simple comparison between the way the 17-year-old boy was treated walking away from where he committed these crimes and what happened to 3 days earlier. That right there, that picture right there, regardless of Blake's past, regardless of the 17-year-old boy's past or age or whatever. Just that whole picture on how law enforcement treated those two different people says it all. It says it all. And any amount of tweets, any amount of Trump supporters driving their big four-wheel trucks through these protests, back and forth, firing paint guns, throwing bottles, hurling epithets, none of that is going to quell them. So Trump tweets that his supporters are patriots. The people, he has calls for law and order. That's what his tweets in all caps, law and order. And he thanks his supporters. And then on TV, in the newspaper, on internet, we see his supporters driving their big four-wheel trucks back and forth through the protesters, through them. with their American flags flying, throwing stuff back and forth. It's not law and order. Now we just have two different warring factions. That is not law and order. Just because there's an American flag flying behind a big jacked up Ford pickup truck does not make it law and order. I'm seriously concerned. I really did not think that he would be this insane to actually go to Kenosha. So the governor of Wisconsin, you have to forgive me because I do not remember his name right now, has specifically tried to reach out to Trump to ask him, to tell him, to do his best to tell him it's not a good idea to go to Kenosha tomorrow, to go to Wisconsin. The mayor, the governor, on one hand, he tells the governors and the mayors of these Democrat-run cities and states to do something. They're trying to do something. They're trying to do something. They're trying to reach out to him and tell him not to do this. Not for the sake of to keep the Black Lives Matter protests going, to let them tear apart their cities. It's to stop more violence. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing. So the fuse has been lit at this point. I mean, I hate to say that, but like I said, I think we've crossed over a line at this point with all of Trump's tweets and his declaration that he is going to go to Wisconsin on Tuesday. At this point, his supporters are already en route and so are the Black Lives Matter protesters, and we have just two factions that are going to clash. I hate to say that, but that's what's going to happen. And it's not just going to happen in that city. It's going to happen in Portland. It's going to happen in Detroit. It's going to happen in New York. It's going to happen in LA. It's going to be, and I'm not saying this because I don't want to see this, but I think it's going to be a rough week. And honestly, Trump is instead of unifying this country, this is the culmination of his hate, his rhetoric, his tweets, his refusal to take a hard look, to do the work, to do the hard work and look at law enforcement, look at the situation in the country and try to repair it, to try to better it. That's the hard work, and he, as usual, he's refused to do that. He takes the easy route, he pulls out his phone, and he tweets. That's the easy route. The easy route is to be angry and hateful and fire up his base. And that's what he did. And I believe the chickens have come home to roost, as they say. All right, I'll be back later with another video. You guys have a good Monday.